As you probably know, there is a new Clanwars campaign coming up called Dawn of Industry. And well, now you might ask yourself, man, I want to participate in Clanwars. I want to find a decent clan which plays the global map. But the issue is I don't have any of those broken reward tanks like the 279 or the 260 or any of the Clanwars reward vehicles. And now you just think already, okay, probably don't have any chance of getting anything. I would like to suggest to you for each tank class, one tank, which in my personal opinion and in the opinion of our field commanders from Order Mortis are viable when you do not have any reward vehicles, like for heavies, scouts, tank destroyers, and medium tanks, and for artillery. For all those tank classes, I got you one, and for heavies, even two picks, which our field commander said, you know what, we can pick those if the player needs fame points and doesn't have any of those reward vehicles. So let's jump into the tanks, which there are no reward alternative. And that's being the first, the light tank class. Here, it's 100% EBR 105. Please keep in mind, however, that you should have a little bit of knowledge when you play the EBR 105. So you should not really get flipped. You should not just cartwheel over anything and then just immediately die. You should also have a basic understanding of fuel range gameplay. Just now getting the EBR 105 with having no prior experience to scouting gameplay, I would say hold your horses, get something different, get something you are more comfortable with. Hence why I want to give you for each tank class at least one pick we consider being important. But yes, EBR 105, if you know what you're doing, it's the go-to pick for Clanwars. Yes, T100LT can be used, but in a more professional and a more competitive environment, EBR 105 is your go-to pick. Next up, we have artillery. Obviously, there are also no reward alternatives, thank God, and it is going to be the Conqueror gun carrier. And yes, I actually had to play artillery to just get you some footage of the CGC. The Conqueror gun carrier or game carrier or gun cancer, what you want to call it, sky cancer, in general is the best artillery piece when you want to just play artillery. It has the highest splash, it is fairly maneuverable, it has a huge alpha strike, and that's what you all want in Clanwars. You don't really care for consistency damage, you just want to get those peak shots, you got those big alpha strikes. However, I do want to point out, if you do not have a Conqueror gun carrier or you're not close to the Conqueror gun carrier, we also tend to sometimes use a T92 or even the GVW E100. Both are also valuable options, however, the first place clearly goes to the Conqueror gun cancer. It's just, it has everything you need. The only thing it doesn't have is accuracy, but who gives a shite? And it has reload time, but you can boost it quite low with consumables and directives. So just to keep that in mind, Conqueror gun carrier is your go-to artillery piece for the Clanwars campaign. And lastly, we have tank destroyers, and here it's very, very specific for map. For example, on Ensk, we usually use E4 and E3s, but it's only really on Ensk, on no other map anyway. And we came to the conclusion, after looking at most maps we play and just from out of our heads, that the Stritzwagen 103B is your go-to tank destroyer for Clanwars. Because on maps like Malinovka or Prokhorovka, it's an amazing vehicle. Because it is just, it really, really shines when you are doing coordinated gameplay. When you have somebody which says, yes, there, one goes there, keep this position, we have a Stritzwagen behind which is sniping and trying to pump that DPM. Seriously, Stritzwagen 103B is, in my opinion, the best TD for whole Clanwars. However, I do want to point out that on certain situations, on YOLO setups, for example, on more city-heavy maps, 268 version 4, still a magnificent TD, can still be used very, very effectively. Especially, it's a decent counter towards the 279 because it has equally good armor, it is fast as fuck, it has a very high alpha gun, at least for what it also have all around, plus it also have a pretty decent alpha damage on their model damage. Like the module damage is pretty high, so if you are lucky, you can one-shot a 279. Obviously, you have to be lucky. You can damage the ammo rack, but You can also be lucky and just completely blow it to smithereens with just one single well-placed shot. In general, if you have to decide, I first would say go for the Stritzwagen 103B, or rather ask your allies or your clan members, guys, what maps are we going to play? More heavy maps or something more open-ish? Because even on Cliff, you can use Stritzwagen. However, I saw in Pro Play Leopard 1 being used, so you can keep that in mind. But yeah, Stritzwagen number 1 for us at least, and 268 version 4 on number 2 spot, and occasionally an E3 or E4 on Ensk. But again, this is just our tactic. Next tank class is the medium tank class, and obviously here, let's be honest, we have the 907. The 907 is the go-to medium, because especially in the current meta, it's just such a good pick, because it's fast, it has a decent bouncy hull, it has a great DPM, and it's just a good all-around package. That's why you are seeing 907s all the time in the Clanwars game mode. I also asked our people, yo, what do you think about the bat chat? And we came to the conclusion, with the introduction of the EBR 105, bat chats aren't really that effective anymore. I would rather suggest to get a TVP if you need an autoloader, because it has this much quicker and more consistent DPM in a pretty decent package as well. The bat chat can still be used, don't get me wrong, and I think a lot of other clans are still using it. However, we decided, you know what, EBR is the way to go. And now we thought, what could we use as a medium substitute for the 907? We came to the conclusion that 430U is definitely not a bad pick. However, 140 is just a tiny touch better, because it's a tiny touch faster. It has a better gun in the sense of, if you know what you're doing, like with 6 degrees of gun depression, with the very good gun handling of the 140, and the very good DPM of the 140, with its amazing potential to keep people perma-tracked, it's the way to go. Because the issue is, in Clan Wars, you don't really, how should I say, you don't really rely on your armor anymore, because you are going to get shot at with gold. So why take something which maybe bounces an occasional shot, when it can take something which maybe bounces a little bit less, but has a much better gun in the terms of DPM, consistency, and so on and so forth. Plus it has better mobility. So if you do not have any medium, fear not, 140 is a very good pick still for Clan Wars, because it definitely can be an equal footing as a 907. However, again, if you have the chance, if you have a 907, go for the 907. It's still the best pick for the medium tanks. And lastly, we have the heavy tank class, and here we were thinking, what should we say? Obviously, the best heavy tank for Clan Wars is going to be the 279 and the Chieftain. And we are not going to discuss these tanks, because that's not the purpose of this video. So we were thinking, what would we play? And again, we kept in our heads, you know what, it is a heavy medium meta, a heavium meta. A meta where it has to be fast, agile strikes, going back and forth on the map, and just outplaying the enemy. So we came to the conclusion that in the end, we think the 277 is the best all-round heavium for this purpose. It has a decent mobility, it has actually a very good gun, it has heat penetration, which is also not too shabby, and also just for puzzle games, it's a very good tank. It's a very decent tank. You can totally pick up just for fun. The T10 is also a great grind, in my opinion. It's a very nice heavy, or heavium in that sense, and it's a lot of fun. However, the 277 definitely is your go-to pick if you do not have anything for Clan Wars, or you are close to getting it when you have to decide what to get of the heavy tanks. You could make an argument that the IS-7 is a pretty decent pick. And I would say, yes, it's not too bad. The issue is, sure, it has a much stronger turret and a little bit better of gun depression, but it doesn't boast mobility and the heat rounds of the 277, plus the DPM, if I'm not mistaken. The IS-7 actually gets used in Malinovka to be a spot bot, like going into the middle, into a ditch, and try to spot the people with Spall Liner to survive as long as possible. Same goes for Karelia, I think. Yeah, Karelia. We also sometimes use an IS-7 there. It can be used, but again, please do not flame me if you took up an i7 instead of a 277 and you don't get any spots in your clan during the clan wars. We also discussed, you know, what tank could we pick else? And sure, your first bet could be for the Super Conqueror. However, if you're playing against better skilled clans or clans with already Clan Wars vehicles, the Super Conqueror is not really your best bet, because the Chieftain has literally no big issues to just punch right through the Super Conqueror turret with its APCR rounds. So one of our FCs said, you know what? Why not take a Kranwagen? I tend to use it here and there rather often because of its free-shot autoloader. It's rather quick. Well, the mobility is not amazing, obviously. It's not a 50B. But the mobility is good enough to be used. You have a free-shot autoloader with a pretty decent clip out speed. Like, it doesn't really take too much time to get the clip out. And you have this impenetrable turret. And I'm not kidding. A Chieftain, in theory, should not have any chance of penetrating the turret. Sure, you are not going to have a chance to penetrate his turret either with your 300mm of heat rounds, but in theory you could load HE and it could actually work. However, we still think the Kranwagen in certain situations and certain maps is much better suited than a Super Conqueror or a Chieftain even, because of this impenetrable turret and this free shot autoloader. Again, what is it, 1320 damage per clip, if I'm not mistaken, is not something you should laugh about. It's very good. Plus you have a 20-second reload time for the whole clip with Brothers in Arms, Wentz, and rations. By the way, yes, do use rations if you have the opportunity and have the credits to do it. Just do it. It's 10% better tank stats. So yeah, I guess this wraps up this video. Again, it was a very quick video which I just wanted to kind of get out there. There's not much I want to say about the tanks in general. If you want to know more about the about the event in general, then let me know in the comment section below, because I do plan to try to play it, but I have a lot of experience under my belt when it comes to normal Clan Wars campaigns or the previous Clan Wars campaigns, because I was playing legit every single one except for one tier 8 one where you could have gotten the FCM50T and another tier 10 one, because I already have all the tanks. It's interesting to see that Wargaming decides to give out every single tank again. Obviously, if you're able to get one of those tanks, it's up to you which tank you want to pick. If it's Chieftain, if it's 907, probably will be Chieftain, because the 907 is not, like, again, in the current heavy meta, Chieftain is your go-to pick. That's it. And I wouldn't recommend to get the 121B or the M60, because let's be honest, you can get them for bonds anyway. My name is RagingRaptor. Thank you so much for your attention. I hope this video was helpful to you. If so, let me know in the comment section below. Also, what are your Clan Wars picks? Are you a field commander of your clan? Does your clan doesn't really have so many reward vehicles? Let me know in the comment section below what you would pick. This should be a friendly discussion down there. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you all in a different video. Cheers, ladies.